by the first ever Infinity QX65 and by Lowe's. Give your yard its own moment with new limited time deals from Lowe's.
He'd announced his retirement before the tournament. 34 years old, knees aching. Then he dragged France to the final, almost alone. A Panenka penalty against Italy in the 7th minute, raising hopes of a fairy tale ending. Italy equalized. Extra time. 110th minute. Marco Materazzi, the Italian defender, said something to Zidane. You still don't know exactly what. Zidane walked a few paces, turned, and drove his shaved head into Materazzi's chest. The Italian collapsed. The red card came out. Zidane walked past the championship trophy on his way to the tunnel and didn't look at it. Italy won on penalties. The final image of his career, not a kiss, but a headbutt.
Stay tuned to this Odyssey station for more stories from the pitch.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Partly sunny, 83 degrees at 4:14. I'm Laura Oakes. The Twin Cities' only national cemetery is a busy place on this Memorial Day.
Josh and Mary Dold of Carver could have had a picnic with their 2 young sons. Instead, they brought them here to Fort Snelling National Cemetery.
We just wanted to come here and make sure our boys knew why the day is important for all of us who live in America and learn some history.
Walking between the flag-adorned markers made an impact on 9-year-old Silas.
I think today is a day where I should respect the gravestones, and I should also not play with the gravestones and step on them. I should respect them and know that they fought for our freedom.
His 7-year-old brother Liam says it's a good time to respect those who died fighting for the USA. At Fort Snelling National Cemetery, Al Schock, News Talk 830 WCCO.
A street festival at 38th and Chicago in South Minneapolis today, drawing large crowds on the 6th anniversary of George Floyd's murder at the hands of a former Minneapolis police officer. The annual Rise and Remember event continues this hour with a candlelight vigil planned for 8 p.m. tonight. Vendor Greg Graham says the event is bittersweet.
It just gives me flashes of what went on and how it went down, if it could have been different. Where would we be now if it had went down different? A lot of that is in my head.
Organizers emphasizing that this year's gathering serves as a final send-off to the memorial as the city prepares a major redesign of the intersection next month. Minneapolis police investigating an overnight homicide after a man was found shot to death early this morning. It happened near 42nd Street East and Columbus Avenue South. So far, no word on what led to it, no arrests yet. In Mankato, police are asking for the public's help, looking for somebody who shot and killed a 17-year-old over the weekend. He was found inside of a vehicle in North Mankato, suffering from a gunshot wound, and later died at the hospital. Investigators are asking residents in the area to review their surveillance footage. And our friends who track such things say this year's tick season could be the worst in a decade. Alex Carlson with the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District with some advice.
Stay on the trail if you're going hiking, and if you do go into long woods or grassy or brushy areas, make sure you're doing a thorough tick check. Wear light colored clothing so you can see the ticks if any of them attached to your fabric, and then bug spray and clothing and gear spray containing permethrin is really effective as well.
Carlson also says, however, to check those pets before they come in the house. WCCO News Time is 4:17.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, beautiful evening tonight, mostly clear overnight, low 65. Tomorrow we do have a slight chance of showers in the morning, or in the afternoon rather. Otherwise, mostly sunny, hot tomorrow with a high near 91. 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms Tuesday night, low 64. And then Wednesday, little slight chance for some showers or thunderstorms early in the day. Then mostly sunny again in the afternoon with a high near 89. Right now, it's partly sunny, 83 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hear about it, talk about it, add your voice to the mix. The CCO Talk and Text Line, 651-461-9226. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Yeah, we're working on Memorial Day weekend. Why not? Welcome to Drive Time. Twins lose today. It's a bummer. Pitching was pretty good, just couldn't get anything going on the offense side. It is Memorial Day. I spent a little time out by Lake Minnetonka at a friend's house. Not a barbecue. And frankly, should Bryce and Natalie be ejected from the state of Minnesota for having people to their house and not having a grill going? It's a bold choice. It's a bold choice. I want to hear from you guys because this is the unofficial start of summer. And I have a feeling that right now on Interstate 94, I don't know, between like Albertville and Maple Grove, cars are stacking up, right? Because it was so nice this weekend. I would like to hear from people who opened up their cabin or went north. And I want to know about the best part of your holiday weekend. 651-461-9226. That is the direct line to Josh Wheeler, who is in for Dan Cook today. I think this weekend, for me, it sort of snuck up on me. It snuck up on me a little bit because, I don't know, I believe that like my sense of the calendar for the last 20 years of my life has been very closely aligned to what's going on with my kids. And now my kids are away at college. And so you don't have the normal rhythm of the school year where it's like, oh man, like, yeah, it's time for Memorial Day. Boom. It's time for, it just stuff just sort of comes up. I feel a little discombobulated by the whole thing because a friend of mine today said like, unofficial start of summer. And you're like, already? Like, is it already?
Yeah.
But it is May 25th. Today, I think the warmest temperature we got to so far was 86. Tomorrow, 90 is in the forecast. It was warm yesterday. We were sitting out on the patio. And so I will say, like, I have mixed feelings on the cabin lifestyle of Minnesota. I've never had a cabin. I sometimes feel like I sort of let my kids down by not having that. Like they didn't get that same experience. You grew up here, right, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
And did your family have a cabin?
Kind of. It was more so my great-grandfather's house just happened to be on Spirit Lake in Aiken, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of the spot up until like 2009 where we would go up there for Memorial Day, July 4th. A lot of summertime spent at the lake. So technically, yeah, it's a cabin. But like it's nothing like we didn't go up there and prep and do all this stuff. Like a cabin is you do all the work to prep it and you do all the work to essentially take it down at the end of the summertime. There's a fine line, I think, between that and a cabin.
When I first moved here in 2003 and people talked about their cabin.
Yeah.
And they'd show me like a picture and I'd think like, that's bigger than your house. It's bigger than your house. Like some of the photographers I worked with at Channel 4, these guys would live in like a dump, like just like a shack of a house. And then they'd go to the cabin and you're like, my God, it's so nice.
Seems kind of counterproductive.
I grew up, my family had a cottage. And the difference between a cottage and a cabin is running water. We did not have running water. We did not have a toilet in our cottage. It was part of like a camp of cottages. There were like 200 of them. which I do understand whenever I try to explain what my summers were like growing up. It sounds like a cult, like I was part of a cult.
Yeah.
We went to a camp. It sounds vaguely Nazi-ish, right? Like we went to this camp. We started our day with calisthenics on the A field. I'm not kidding. We did marching. So we did calisthenics, then we did marching. Left, 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 right, left. We'd march around the athletic field. It was strange. Although it didn't strike me as strange. It was just my childhood, right? You do understand how people could end up in some sort of weird, crazy scenario. You're like, well, I don't know. It was my parents brought me up there, and that was it.
Get to work. Yeah.
You had gym class in the morning and swimming lessons in the afternoon, and that was what we did. So I always thought of like a cabin as similar to that. You know, you'd go to the common bathroom and the common showers, and that's what you did. And then I see people with the real cabin, but it is a cool culture, right? Like the fact that you have a place to go. I think the ideal scenario is the family cabin where you take turns, you share the responsibility, but you also have, and this is where I feel like now that, you know, our kids are 20 and 18 and we're near at the end of that sort of phase where I sort of regret like not giving my kid that experience, my kids that experience that you're able to go to a place that is for family. And it's for, you know, swimming in the lake and messing around in the woods and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know. To me, like the extra work, like I look at you guys sitting in traffic on your way home and think, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Like no way that I would want. It's enough work to take care of your own house. Why would you want?
It's the first weekend of like 8 weekends you're going to be taking that trip to and from.
Right. Right. Sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
But I do. I don't know. I think as time has gone by, I get it a little more. And as I get older, I think I could see a scenario maybe more like your great grandparents where I could move.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
To a place more in the country. Now, texters at 651-461-9226. If I'm honest, I hate the cabin cast on the local TV station.
We had the cabin cast.
We had it
2 years ago. Yeah.
We had cabin cast for a bit.
Yeah.
So the only reason they do cabin cast is because they can get a sponsor.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah. It's reeling in the money, baby.
I mean, when we did the cabin cast, like I had to look up, like, give me a current temperature in Baxter or something.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, and then you had to remember the no meals complete without Thielen meats.
Yeah, that's true. So you know what gets me about Thielen meats? Because there are two Thielen meats. There was a bit of a family sort of schism, I believe.
Yes.
So you have the two Thielen meats.
Yeah.
And one is always more convenient to my drive back from the Brainerd Lakes area. It's right off the highway.
Yeah.
But it's closed on Sunday when I come home. And so I always want to go to Thielen Meats. And I don't want to go to the one that's open. That's like a 15-minute jaunt off of the highway. So there's no Thielen Meats for me, I guess. You know, what are you going to do? If you could, Josh, you know, you're married.
Yep.
If you could afford it, you know, money, no object, would you want a house and a cabin? Or would you want to take the money you would spend on a cabin and just get that much nicer of a house?
A house and a cabin, but not to the extent of your said previous photographer coworkers where they live in, you know, a dust hole and just literally live in like a 4 foot by 6 foot house and, you know, live in.
Yeah, you don't want to live
in a 600 square foot cabin.
Right. You don't want to live in squalor.
Yeah, exactly. I've always wanted one just because you kind of get the FOMO, especially growing up, of, oh, hey, I'm going to go with my friends to the cabin for the weekend. And it's like, oh, I'm going to the Lookout in Maple Grove. Like, la-di-da, or Maynard's. Like, the closest thing I get to a cabin is like Maynard's on Excelsior. Like,
yeah, you can sort of get a sample of the lifestyle.
Yeah, get the lakeside breeze.
Yeah. What would you guys do? Would you rather put your money into a nicer house or into a cabin? 651-461-9226. I think for me, the biggest thing that has stopped us from the cabin, from going down that road, is there are so many places that I want to visit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, over the summer already, Alyssa and I have a list of all the road trips that we'd like to make throughout Minnesota and Wisconsin and where we want to visit this summer. And so the idea, if you have a cabin, don't you feel like you have to go to the cabin? You have to make it worthwhile, you have to go there. But then I go visit my friends up on Bay Lake, which is probably my favorite lake to go to up north. And then I'm like, I'd really like to have a cabin up here so I could go to the Lonesome Pine all the time.
Here's the thing, too, though, and I always take us into consideration with a cabin is I feel like I would have some sense of paranoia having another property with nobody kind of keeping an eye on it. Obviously, you can have ring cams and everything today, but what if someone's, walking across your property? I know it's probably not likely to happen.
Paranoia. It sounds a little paranoid.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on this radio station, it's just nice to hear someone paranoid about a place in greater Minnesota instead of just saying you're afraid of visiting Minneapolis.
This is a safe space.
Texters are over, and no surprise if you're listening to this radio station at 4:30 on a holiday weekend, you're voting for the house, not for the cabin. Texter says a nicer house on a lake. That's what I would take. Another text, when you have a second home, you never get to go on vacation somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then another texter says, put the money into your main house. Owning one property is more than enough work. Yeah. That's sort of where I'm at. It's 4:30. I want to break. In a minute, we're going to talk about Stephen Colbert and his return to television. He had his last show on CBS on Thursday night, but then he was back on the air less than 24 hours later in a perhaps unlikely spot, and it appeared to tick off CBS in Paramount. We'll talk about what happened there when we come back. Drive Time on Memorial Day, where we say thank you to every soldier and sailor and airman or woman who gave everything. The ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, for our country. To serve is something I have great admiration for. But on this day, we hold a special place at our heart for those who gave everything, and also for their families and the surviving military members who carry their legacies forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Drive Time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Why is everyone so quiet? What are we listening to?
Dude, it's News Talk 830 WCCO. Breaking news, smart conversation, hosts who get it. Vanita gets the morning going. Adam and Jordana have fun disagreements. Chad asks the best questions. Jason recaps the news day, and Henry keeps things going at night. It's Minnesota with a brain and a pulse.
Huh.
Hey, what are we listening to?
Dude, it's News Talk 830 WCCO. Breaking news, smart conversation, hosts who get it. Vanita gets the morning.
I think you got the message.
Hey, now it's your turn. Help spread the word. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanha's and Dinatitas. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word. Everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanHasItDT.com.
What's one of your favorite memories?
That's a tough question. Well, there was this one time I went camping with my parents in a forest back when I was maybe like 8 or 9. And I can remember one night we were laying out in our hammocks and we were just, watching the trees rustling in the wind above us, and we could hear the sounds of the forest all around us. Frogs singing and owls calling and the creek running nearby. It was amazing. It felt like we were a part of it all. I don't know if I do it justice trying to describe it, but I'll definitely never forget it.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. How long have you been stuck with the same phone plan? 2 years? 5? 10? Are you tired of surprise fees and confusing bills that never match what you thought you were paying? Cut the nonsense.
Right now at redpocket.com, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year.
And here's the kicker. Red Pocket Mobile gives you access to all 3 5G networks. You pick the one that works best where you live or work, or switch anytime for better coverage. And with Red Pocket, you keep your phone and your number. Why in the world would you not switch? Red Pocket Mobile, your new ultimate cell carrier.
Celebrate Memorial Day with big savings from Red Pocket Mobile. Right now, new and existing customers can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. Just $60 a year, and choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. That's redpocket.com. redpocket.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
The day off today because he's a reasonable person who took the holiday off, unlike your erstwhile DriveTime host who forgot to take the day off, and here I am. Weather forecast. Man, it's hot. Is it too hot? How hot is it? It's so hot. Tonight, clear skies, 73. 73. I turned on the air conditioning today. Tomorrow, hot, sunny, 90. Wednesday, isolated storms and showers, 89. Thursday, 86. Friday, 85. Just crazy. Average high this time of year should be about 72. It's 85 in Woodbury here on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
It's exciting and it's terrifying at the same time.
I know.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hello. Also welcome. It's time for another edition of Only in Monroe. I'm your guest, host, Stephen Colbert. Since I was last here in Monroe, Michigan, I spent 11 years as the primary host of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on CBS, which came to an end last night. It's been an excruciating 23 hours without being on TV. So I am grateful to be able to be here on Monroe Community Media before they also get acquired by Paramount.
Oh, it was delightful to see Stephen Colbert on public access television. I don't know if you guys remember when he left the Colbert Report, his Comedy Central show, before he went over to CBS to take over for David Letterman. He was on Only in Monroe. And so it's sort of bookending his CBS career. When he hosted his final show, he did tell the people watching on CBS that the next place they would most likely see him was public access TV in Michigan, which was a fun little Easter egg to the fact that he was going to end up on public access television in Michigan. Now, some of what happened over the last couple days, though, is classic big media. And it is part of, man, I think it's part of this this sort of stuff is what gets people ticked off at corporate media, mainstream media, big media. So Colbert was on CBS. CBS is owned by Paramount. And I first saw the video of his cable access show, which was hilarious. But I first saw it on like a independent journalist account. So it's on this dude's account, and I'm watching it. And then Paramount filed copyright notices trying to take it down. So I saw it on an X account by media reporter Matthew Keys. And so it's on the Matthew Keys account. And, you know, like this show streams on YouTube. And so sometimes, like, there are these automated these AI bots that crawl the internet looking for copyrighted material. And YouTube has some of it. So like when I take our show and cut it into clips, and sometimes YouTube is like, hey, that's copyrighted. You can't. Like if I ever show on our live stream a clip of Saturday Night Live, for example, boom, gets taken down.
It's kind of crazy how it is automatically filtered through that.
Right. Yeah, the fact that it can find it is pretty amazing. But in this case, it appeared that it wasn't caught in an automated way. It appears that Paramount was really filing these copyright complaints. And so there's some question as to whether so what appeared to be very much like a guerrilla anti-CBS, anti-Paramount show, it's possible, well, CBS anyway, claimed that they paid for it. So the reason they were filing these copyright reports is because the only places that were legally allowed to upload the video was whatever this Monroe public media is. So like it was allowed to be on the community access channels, YouTube. It was allowed to be on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert's YouTube. And it was allowed to be on Stephen Colbert on his YouTube himself. To me, the big two takeaways. One, Paramount is run by idiots. Like to be out there filing takedown notices is such a misunderstanding of how the internet works today. And sometimes something that you paid for, you own the intellectual property. So if CBS actually paid for Colbert to do this, it's kind of fascinating, right?
Yeah.
You're like, why? Why did they do that? I don't know. I'm also, color me skeptical that CBS actually paid for it. I don't know. I'm just a little skeptical. But it makes them look ridiculous, and way more people are paying attention to this now than would have paid attention to it if CBS had said nothing. This is usually how this goes, right? If you make a big deal out of something, then everyone's like, oh, I got to see what this was all about.
Yeah,
right? Like, don't you want to see
the
it?
book. Yeah.
The fact that Paramount was trying to stop other people from uploading clips of it or uploading the episode, doesn't that make you want to seek it out?
Yeah.
It does for me.
Clicks, baby. It's all about clicks.
Yeah. I mean, that's just sort of,
It's just kind of the backdoor way of getting clicks, but it's still clicks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that was their intent.
Yeah,
it's a good question, right? That's like they're playing 3D chess if you believe that. The other takeaway is how charming it was just to see Stephen Colbert being funny and not really being super political. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about like, oh, Colbert failed because he went woke. And I disagree with that so much. The only reason Colbert survived is because he went political. When Stephen Colbert originally went on the air, the ratings were terrible. And the show was not political. And when he went hardcore anti-Trump, the ratings went up.
Yeah.
So is that what I want to watch in late night television? No. And it is what people, at least enough people, wanted to watch to make it a worthwhile endeavor. Low budget, cable access Stephen Colbert. Now, you just watched a little bit of it, right?
Yep.
Is there something appealing about like the anti-big budget moment? If you look at the most popular podcast on the internet, it's not like a big fancy set. It's like a big old microphone and somebody who's got like a blue light on the wall behind them and maybe a monitor or something, but it's pretty bare bones. Are we in an era where we don't want the fancy production values? We don't want the big set. We want someone that we find interesting or thought-provoking or emotionally like us or hilarious, whatever the case is. We just want like that at the camera. Just honest, pure, real, or at least whatever version of honest, pure, and real people are presenting.
I think it also brings the point of it. The chains were off, even though he kind of still went rogue towards the end. I think the chains were a little more off for this. So I don't know, maybe it's different for access programming, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think we're like all of a sudden CCX is going to be your late night leader.
Yeah, correct. That would be.
And their production values are pretty good.
I mean,
you know, there's
the video basically looked like he was filming it in a doctor's waiting room. I mean, you got the chairs, you got the magazines, you got
I mean, it's
something on a Wayne's World.
Our production value of our streaming version of this radio show is better than what he was doing. And the production value of this thing is pretty crappy. Okay, believe me.
Yeah.
It is a Logitech webcam sitting on a tripod and a couple of lights left over from when they used to do TV hits in the studio. And these lights aren't even really accurately pointed at me.
Yeah.
What are you?
It'd be nice to get some TV hits back to that lifestyle.
You think so?
But,
you think?
Where's the money with that?
Yeah. I'm available.
Yeah.
I mean, any of the TV stations, you know, I thought they'd miss me, Josh. 4 years. It's almost been 4 years.
Yeah, your
phone's not ringing. I'm just saying.
They don't know who you are. Even the front desk people have no idea who you are.
Yes, whenever we get a new salesperson here at the radio station, it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. All right, let's break. In a minute, I do want to talk a little more about Memorial Day. We talked about it last half hour. But I am curious if you think today, do we respect military service more or less than we used to? 651-461-9226. We'll get into that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Jason here, and it is a holiday weekend. Today, all of the offices of Tureen Dermatology are closed. But don't let that stop you from getting over to TureenDermatology.com, requesting an appointment with a dermatologist close to you. I have been so excited to see Dr. Mohiba Tureen, who is my dermatologist, my wife's dermatologist, my teenagers, my in-laws, and so many CCO radio listeners. It has been awesome to see them grow from starting in one location in Roseville to Faribault, Maplewood, Monticello, Hudson, Eagan, Farmington, Lakeville, Lindstrom, Sandstone, and Osceola. Western Wisconsin, you're getting some of the bonus that they've experienced in Lakeville, where it used to take 3, 4, 5 months to see a dermatologist. Now you can get in within 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Trust the experts. Your skin is too valuable, too important to leave to chance. Tureen Dermatology, they're there for you to check out that mole that changes shape or changes size or changes color, or that wound that just doesn't seem to heal. They're there for cosmetic dermatology service as well. Looking for a little maybe advice on how to minimize the look of wrinkles or lines around your eyes, they got you covered there too. Request that appointment online. One website gets you to all of those locations close to you. Tareen is Tareen, dermatology.com.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Free shipping this month at minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, and tell them Jordana sent you.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast from our friend Chris Schaefer tonight. Man, it's hot, isn't it? It's hot.
It is.
Tonight, it's going to still be hot. It's kind of uncomfortable sleeping weather, 73 degrees. It's clear at least. Tomorrow, hot, sunny, 90. 90 big degrees tomorrow. Air quality, we got some moderate concerns for that. Wednesday, isolated storms and showers, 89. It's going to be hot all week. Right now, it's 87 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's so bold. It's adventurous. It's edgy. You know, it's
risky.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Alroy C. Classman, Sergeant, U.S. Army, Korea. James C. McHugh, Tech 4, U.S. Air Force, World War II. Joseph F. Serpico, Sr., RM3, U.S. Navy, World War II.
Those were some of the 16,000 veteran names read, part of the Honor Project, a volunteers gathering at Fort Snelling on Sunday. About 100 people there, including some regular folks, some volunteers, some veterans as well. But 16,000 names of soldiers who are who have been laid to rest at Fort Snelling. Memorial Day is about those who gave it all, We honor and we should honor people who serve in the military every day. I come from a line of military grandparents. So my grandfather on my mom's side was a Purple Heart, a soldier during World War II. And my grandmother actually worked in a munitions plant while he was off at war. My father-in-law, Pete, served in Vietnam. And he has been such an inspiration to me in the years, last couple decades, the way he showed up, being part of the sort of motorcycle honor guard and all of that for other veterans who have died. I think that the military, it's also political, right? It always has been. I don't think that's anything new. And I think there's always this sort of young people question it more than older people. And certainly today, I think with the war in Iran going on, you have a president who campaigned on saying, we're going to get America out of these wars, and now we're in a war. America's view on the military is actually pretty positive. And this surprised me. I was trying to do some research to figure out, like, all right, where are people? Do people respect military service? And when you look at people running for political office, 55% of adults say military service on a candidate's resume makes it much or somewhat more likely that they'll vote for the person. It's the number one part of your background that Americans value in choosing a candidate for office, which I think is really interesting. I was trying to make sense of that, and maybe you guys have thoughts at 651-461-9226. But I think it's about sacrifice. When you have military service in your background, you voluntarily chose to put your maybe other ambitions or other parts of your life on hold for a greater good. And when you think about who you want to be in politics, you want someone who's willing to sacrifice themselves for everybody else. So I think that is quite interesting. Quite interesting. Now, the other part of this, when you take a look at where Americans are on military service, Americans have a relatively positive view even of the military. People under 30 have a more negative view. 60% of Americans, the last time Pew Research published on this, which was in 2024, so it's been a minute, but 60% of Americans say the military has a positive effect. Now, adults under 30 say it has a negative effect. And even politically, I thought this was interesting too. Politically, Republicans and Democrats are almost identical on the percentage who view the military positively. Now, if you poll liberal Democrats versus moderate Democrats, liberal Democrats are more evenly divided. It's about 50-50. But moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans are about the same. Now, a texter says, we're completely disrespectful of military service, in my opinion. From the armchair quarterbacking going on by younger generations, questioning the dropping of the atomic bomb. There's a lack of respect for those who served and serve now. I think it depends on what you compare it to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to the way Americans treated the Vietnam soldiers.
Yeah.
I just think like people under 30 have always been sort of disrespectful of this. Is it different today than it ever has been? I don't think so. I think people are just louder. You have more ways to hear or to see people's disrespect. You have one person who doesn't put their hand over their heart and people, that gets blasted all over the world. I just think you're hearing about it more. I think most of us, huge respect. Huge respect. I believe that. We're going to get you up to date on ABC national news. Discussions going on about ending the war in Iran. Not looking great based on what's been going on this weekend. So we'll get you up to date and hear from Laura, too, in just a minute here on CC.
Your Apple playlist has never warned you about an approaching thunderstorm. And that current events podcast can't break in with breaking news. And if an accident shuts down your way to work, yeah, good luck finding an alternate route with Book Club Radio. When you need something live, we have breaking news.
Breaking news.
We have breaking news. When you need someone here, News Talk 830 WCCO.
When you're at work, you never know when you'll be interrupted. But with the Dell Pro, powered by Intel Core Ultra with vPro, no matter what distracts you, your laptop won't. It's battery optimized for the way you work with built-in intelligence that quiets distractions when you need to focus. Your laptop will help keep you locked in, even when it's bring your dog to work day. Built for those who stay in the flow. The Dell Pro, built for you. Dell.com/Dell-Pro.
Day one, diagnosis day, the hardest day, the day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
but day one is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day one.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
LLS provided immediate financial support that helped me keep my business going through treatment.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. With no apologies to the Beatles, the Great Get Back is going on from Memorial Day destinations. The number of people in the skies, physically and numerically high. The number on the roads high, as are numbers on gasoline pumps. ABC's Melissa Don in Los Angeles.
The West Coast is really feeling those high gas prices. According to AAA, California gas prices are averaging $6.11 per gallon for regular. Any $5 price, that's actually a good price for California standards. For comparison, the national average for a gallon of regular is $4.51. So these are still high sticker prices, which will possibly impact future summer travel across the country.
Wall Street markets closed for Memorial Day, but stock futures went higher and oil prices dipped after President Trump mentioned progress in talks with Iran. In Washington, ABC's Christiane Cordero.
We heard from the president one time today. It was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. He didn't get into the details, but he did acknowledge some of the weight that today holds in the context of this war.
These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon.
When it comes to the nuclear capabilities of Iran, that is very much something that has not been worked out.
Where 50,000 people are evacuated in Orange County, California, fire officials say a crew has cut the risk of a major explosion at a damaged toxic chemical tank at an aircraft plant in Garden Grove. Protesters today near a migrant detention center in Newark, New Jersey, claim ICE is preventing them from seeing their loved ones. At that protest were members of Congress and Governor Mikey Sherrill.
We've been working with ICE to get into the facility. I was just denied that this morning. I was hoping well, we certainly will.
Migrants at Delaney Hall are on a hunger strike, protesting poor conditions. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, actually. 84 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Families near and far visiting loved ones at Fort Snelling National Cemetery on this Memorial Day.
Jeannie Adams of West Lakeland has to walk to different areas of Fort Snelling to visit the final resting place of each of her ancestors.
I come here to visit my grandma, my grandmother and grandfather, Martha and William Grunn, and they were World War II, so their grave site is way over on the fence, and not many people visit there.
Why do you say that?
Just because it's an older generation of people. So the younger families don't visit on that side.
Jeannie says it's a really good feeling to know that all of her ancestors are still being honored every Memorial Day. At Fort Snelling National Cemetery, Al Schock, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minneapolis's annual Rise and Remember Festival marking the 6th anniversary of George Floyd's murder today.
Hundreds of members of the public, George Floyd's family, and Governor Tim Walz attended the festival that's grown significantly in relevance against the backdrop of Minnesota's evolving political landscape. Vendors involved in the event say it's an example of the community's resilience, as well as a reminder of one of the state's darkest days.
For me, it's not really a celebration in a way, of course, celebration of life and community, but it's just bittersweet.
6 years later, most of us are feeling pretty strong, hopeful, and looking forward to more of the future.
We just need to get better at everything, communicating, loving one another, showing each other in the neighborhood that, we're with you, we're together.
Organizers say they're continuing to work to expand the festival's size to grow its reach each and every year. At George Floyd Square, I'm Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minneapolis police investigating an overnight homicide after a man was found shot to death early this morning. It happened near 42nd Street East and Columbus Avenue South. So far, no word on what led to that shooting, no arrests yet. And finally, local musician Gary Marquardt has been a busy guy today, playing taps at a number of Memorial Day events.
When you get this old, I'm 77, you got to have something important to do. This is really important, and it's really a wonderful thing in my life. It's been a great gift.
Marquardt is a member of Bugles Across America. He says many times people with tears in their eyes come up to thank him for playing those familiar 24 notes. WCCO News Time is 5:05.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Gutman Law, wills, trusts, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com. Let's take a look at the forecast. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low down to 65. And then tomorrow, we do have a slight chance for some showers. Otherwise, a mostly sunny day and hot with a high of 91. 40% chance for showers or thunderstorms Tuesday night, low 64. And then Wednesday, mostly sunny, high back up to 89 degrees. Those summer-like temperatures sticking with us right on through the week. Right now, it is mostly cloudy, 84 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Still Minnesota's heartbeat. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
All right, one more hour of Drive Time with DeRusha. The Twins lost today. Bummer. Day game in Chicago. They got a 4-game series in Chicago against the White Sox. White Sox sort of good all of a sudden. So they've had a nice season. The Twins have had a nice season. I would say certainly exceeding expectations, so it's been kind of fun. Glad to have you spending part of your Memorial Day with us. And because it's Memorial Day, the city of Minneapolis, I think, screwed up today. And I want to have some conversation about the proper way to take note and commemorate the anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was killed 6 years ago on this date. And there is a difference between celebrating George Floyd and honoring the fact that what happened to George Floyd became much bigger than the man. And I think today people are willfully turning any sort of moment to say, look, we got to take note of what happened on this date, how it changed Minneapolis, some ways for the good, some ways for the bad, how it impacted the country and the world. And taking note of it does not mean that you are holding up George Floyd as some sort of saint. I have no problem with taking this date every year and saying we should stop and think about what happened, how we've changed, how we've grown, if we've grown. And it doesn't mean you're celebrating, well, you're celebrating a drug addict and a domestic abuser. No. No one is celebrating the warts, the negative, the destructive, the criminal part of George Floyd. I don't think anyone is. 651-461-9226. Is it appropriate for the city of Minneapolis to post today on social media, today we remember George Floyd? Pretty simple, declarative statement on the social media sites, the official social media sites of the city of Minneapolis. Today, we remember George Floyd. I think that part I'm good with. On an image of 38th in Chicago, the text says, 6 years ago, George Floyd's murder forced our city to confront painful truths about race, public safety, and inequality. Every May 25th is a reminder of that grief and a renewed call to action to keep pursuing the progress this tragedy catalyzed. We encourage you to gather, be with community, and honor George Floyd's life. Now, to me, honoring George Floyd's life is not celebrating his criminal convictions. Honoring his life is about recognizing that what happened in that day, in that moment, shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. And the reason that Minneapolis and the world lost it over this is because it didn't feel like it was something that was so unexpected. That there are people in our community that being treated as less than human was a routine part, at least of how they perceive their interaction at times with law enforcement. Now, here's where I think Minneapolis screwed up. It is Memorial Day. And the city of Minneapolis did put up a post to honor Memorial Day 5 hours after this post sort of went bananas, where they said, we remember George Floyd. That, I think, was a screw up. The Memorial Day post went up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And that's dumb, right? Now, do I think the discussion over this is being conducted in good faith? The people who are saying, how dare you remember George Floyd on Memorial Day? Do I think people really are concerned that the city of Minneapolis should? No, I think it's just a cheap way to score a political point. Yeah. And why did you give people a cheap way to score a political point? Memorial Day, first thing you should have posted when you woke up. Mm-hmm. And obviously this stuff is pre-scheduled posts. Yeah. But the first post should have been Memorial Day. And I do think you are well served to take a moment and think about what happened to George Floyd on this day. It is not celebrating the crime. It is not celebrating the fact that George Floyd was high on drugs, had drugs in his system. It's not celebrating the fact that, like, he was trying to pass a counterfeit bill. It's not. It isn't. If you are arguing that, do you really believe it? Do you really believe it? 651-461-9226. Jeff on Facebook says, it's not the day for Floyd. They need to grow up. So are you allowed? Bill, was George Floyd in the military? If not, then today is not his day. Did you guys have a hamburger on the grill today? Or did you spend the entire day at Fort Snelling just thinking about, come on. Like, I get it. It feels like, oh, today should really be about one thing.
Yeah.
But this date was also about something else that was of global significance. Did Minneapolis screw up? What do you guys think? 651-461-9226. I don't think that remembering George Floyd on Memorial Day is some sort of crime against humanity. I don't. I think they self-owned themselves by not doing this, by not posting the Memorial Day thing first.
Mm-hmm.
They should have done that first.
Which, I mean, it happened that year on Memorial Day. So that's, I mean, the May 25th, I just looked it up on here per AI. Let's just
no, because it
May 25th,
was
2020. Yeah.
Because 6 years later, you're on the same date.
I'm bad at math. I'm in radio.
Yeah.
So
I mean, now you're on the same, it just landed on the same day.
Yeah.
But to act like it's some sort of, like, how dare they?
Yeah.
Now, I think people would be having this sort of fake outrage fest,
mm-hmm.
even if the date, was tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some people who have decided that any commemoration of what happened to George Floyd is a celebration of an individual human George Floyd. And I understand why people act that way. What I would invite you to do is think about it in a more global sense. That George Floyd has become larger than just George Floyd the human.
Correct.
And it's not because, like, oh, he was such a great guy and he's a great role model. No, that's not what it's about. It's because what happened to George Floyd symbolized a moment of disgust, a moment of enough, a moment where people said, we got to do this differently because this is not how this should go down.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
It's kind of,
it's
I
not
don't
really
want to tie it to it, but it's kind of like the school situation with shootings. It's like, when is it going to be the one that changes it all? And this was the one where it's like, all right, police brutality / racial inequality. This is the event that really, like you said, it's not just about this set a lot of things into motion and really took over the world as far as being a statement.
Texture says, weirdly enough, I agree with you completely. I understand. Yeah. I mean, there are times when I think, I'm like, oh, God, dang it. I agree with that guy. Texture says, you can recognize both, but you knew you were going to get blowback if you were going to post George Floyd first. That is where I say, what are you guys doing at the city of Minneapolis, at the social media team, at however, like, come on.
I think the city of Minneapolis in general, whether it's the council, MPD, whatever it may be, I think there needs to be a huge reset in congregation just to kind of get us back on the railroad tracks here. I think it's just a lot of cleanup and a lot of maintenance and tidying up that needs to be done in the city.
So part of what makes me say, Mayor Fry posted right around the same time the city posted on the official Mayor Fry account. So you know what that means. That means that this is sort of like what they...
Sure, the feedback was positive.
Well, and then the mayor, so that post was around 9:00 this morning. And then the mayor, his Memorial Day post was at 11:38 a.m. You just know, like, Memorial Day should have been first. It should have been first.
Yeah.
And then you just take this sort of goofy controversy off the table. Lots of texts coming in. The texter says, today is my wedding anniversary, so that's what I'm recognizing. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you recognize your wedding?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to share Paul and I'm going to share Kathy. Some comments coming in on Facebook. Keep it coming. You can stream our show on Facebook. We're streaming live on the WCCO radio channel. Your text, your calls, all welcome at 651-461-9226. The city of Minneapolis says today we recognize George Floyd. Is that a mistake on Memorial Day? More as we continue at Drive Time on this Monday.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The real estate market has never really settled into sort of the summer bonanza that some people were hoping for. It's Jason here. But I've got answers for you. I've got ideas for you. I've got Chris Lindahl for you. Chris Lindahl is my friend. Chris Lindahl is an innovator. He's a genius. The guaranteed cash offer has transformed the way so many Minnesotans and so many in Western Wisconsin are selling their home. It's because people don't like uncertainty. They do not like the fact that the interest rate environment is up and down. The pricing environment for homes, there are more and more homes sitting on the market, taking price cuts. Yes, some areas are doing great. And in some areas, you probably shouldn't take the guaranteed cash offer. But lots of parts of our community, the guaranteed cash offer is your quickest, surest way to a payday without the stress of home inspections, of paying realtor commissions, of having somebody back out in the last minute. See which way to go makes the most amount of sense. If you go to chrislindahl.com, there's a free smart seller's guide where you can fill out some homeowner information. And the Chris Lindahl team will help guide you through what the best way to do this will be. If you say yes to that guaranteed cash offer, you get that big red check and you start packing. Terms and conditions may apply.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons?
Yep.
Decorations?
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party started at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
Spruce! Spruce! Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
This Memorial Day, make your home the one neighbors notice. At Lowe's, when you have a budget, we have extra big deals. For a very limited time, get 50% off all Holland pavers to reinvent your outdoor space. Plus, keep it fresh around the house with your choice of a select Ego 56-volt trimmer or blower kit for just $169. This Memorial Day, our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/25. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Both the mayor of Minneapolis and the city of Minneapolis posted on social media today that this is a day to remember George Floyd. I think that is totally appropriate, and they should have mentioned Memorial Day first. Should have honored the American heroes who sacrificed their lives for our country first. That said, the response that people are having, I just think is wild. Paul on Facebook says, Jason, why would you overshadow a day set aside for U.S. war heroes to honor a drug addict who resisted arrest and had no respect for authority at all? He is not a hero of anything. So, Paul, I appreciate you sharing that and saying that, because I do think a lot of people have that viewpoint. But I think that it totally misses the point. First of all, as a texter says, who said, I'm retired from law enforcement. I came from the time where I carried a 22 hickory stick. He says, the victim's criminal history is not relevant. George Floyd was a victim of excess force. I think that is the bottom line. But when people are honoring George Floyd, they're not saying this is not like Martin Luther King Jr. They're saying that George Floyd, what happened in that moment to George Floyd is significant, is worth remembering. And that George Floyd was a human and a life and a person, and his life mattered just like your life mattered.
Yeah.
But it's not honoring like, oh, let's honor and celebrate a guy who was a criminal. That's not the point. The point is that what happened here was internationally significant and remains internationally significant today. So it's not honoring a drug addict. Like, give me a break. Also, some of you guys, when you die, I hope someone comes to your funeral and is like, well, this guy cheated on his wife once. So are we honoring a cheater? Like, what? Why do you apply this sort of standard? Kathy says the city of Minneapolis posted that about George Floyd. American heroes who have been around long before George Floyd. Minneapolis is a cesspool. I think there's just a certain amount of people who just want any opportunity to tee off on Minneapolis. Let's go to Mel, who's at 651-461-9226. Mel, thanks for listening.
Any opportunity.
Go ahead. Oh, turn that radio down and you're on the air, Mel.
Am I on?
You are indeed. Go ahead. You're on CCO.
So, matter of Veterans Day.
Yes.
George Floyd was treated wrongly, for sure. He should not have been murdered by the police. But Memorial Day is for the people that gave their lives and the families that lost their soldiers. That's what it's all about. So that was a mistake, not a crude mistake, but
yeah,
it wasn't right.
Should have gone first, or you think they shouldn't have said anything about George Floyd today?
Should have gone first.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with
And
that. I agree with that. I think just
all
the
right.
order of the post, Mel, does open you up to saying, for a couple hours, people saying you're going to post about George Floyd, but nothing about Memorial Day. And I think that was a mistake, was stupid.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's about Veterans Day and the veterans that gave their lives.
thanks, Mel. Appreciate it. Texters saying, I think this is one of those situations where no matter what you do, people are going to say you're wrong. I think there's something about that as well. Another texter saying it's okay to celebrate the moment of George Floyd, but to have a post about it before celebrating those that sacrificed their lives for our freedom. And then this person goes on to talk about, some of the things that George Floyd was accused of.
I feel like we've kind of danced around this and maybe even touched on it, but does it matter if it was posted at 8:05 compared to 3:05? I just don't understand. I think people are getting a little over the top about the hierarchy of what's being.
I think it does matter.
Because there's a story.
I do think it does matter.
I guess you can type up a draft the night before and have that ready to cook it up right in the morning.
Both of these were pre-planned posts.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no way that the city of Minneapolis social media team was firing posts in real time.
Okay.
I don't think so. To me, I think that this was pre-scheduled and they just screwed it up. I think they screwed it up. You should have Memorial Day should have come first.
Yeah, you gotta see it from how you're gonna get viewed on. You gotta have it from the perspective of the person consuming said content.
Now, people are texting in and saying George Floyd wasn't murdered. He died from drugs. That's fine. I understand there is a subset of Americans who will always believe that George Floyd overdosed and that he was not murdered by Derek Chauvin. The only thing I would ask you to consider is if you were walking around with stage 4 prostate cancer and you were going to die, say we knew the future, and you were going to die tomorrow, and today you got hit by a truck and you died. Your cause of death is you got hit by a truck. And so with George Floyd, did he have a high amount of drugs in his system? Yes. Could the drugs have been more of a factor in the cause of his death? I don't know. But you know what precipitated his death? That interaction with police and the way it went down.
9 minutes of kneeling on someone's neck.
So that's sort of how I come at this. But I'm not going to try to convince 6 years in, if you still want to believe what you want to believe, that's fine. But there's a court system, there's appeals, and Derek Chauvin got all of those. So I'm not super interested in relitigating this, but I do find it helpful to think about this in terms of often people, when they die, there are multiple factors. There are multiple things going on. For the purposes of justice and the purposes of why people reacted the way they reacted, it's that precipitating event that is the moment. That's, to me. Kathy says that she thinks it was meant with intent, that they published George Floyd first before Memorial Day, intentionally, that it was intended to be disrespectful to all who lost their lives. Kathy, do you really think that? You really think the city of Minneapolis is sitting around there like, you know what? You know who we're going to stick it to? Dead soldiers. Give me a break. Give me a break. You could. I mean,
I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't.
It's just,
it makes me laugh thinking that would be an intentional.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I do think that it is appropriate to remember what happened, and I also think that our police department has come so far. And the work that Minneapolis police, that Hennepin County, St. Paul, if you are still evaluating our local police departments based on your snapshot of those police departments in 2019, the reality is that there's been so much turnover, especially in Minneapolis. You know, a lot of officers after the riots filed PTSD claims and vanished and retired and left and whatever. And look, I get it, right? Like I back coming to work and being a police officer every day during those COVID years and then during the George Floyd and the riot. I bet it sucked. I bet it did. And so I understand why people said, I can't do this anymore. It makes me more grateful for the people who continue to do it today.
Well, yeah, and I know people
and the new
who do
recruits,
serve
right?
that still kind of have that unmitigated fear of, is this going to be one of those situations? It's just part of the gig now. Unfortunately, that's kind of set the tone. It set kind of the standard to what defines excessive force and what the gray area is between how you handle a situation, no matter how big or small it is.
I think our city has not moved forward quickly enough. The fact that 38th in Chicago is still a dump and has absolutely left behind all those businesses, I think is unconscionable. And I think the fact that the 3rd Police Precinct has been allowed to stand as a monument to a failure is disgusting.
Yeah.
And the police department has come a long way.
That's some bumps, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to it's tough work.
Yeah.
It's tough work. But I think it's really been it's worth calling that out as well. Let's break. In a minute, fireworks. St. Paul trying to raise money to bring back fireworks. I am very pro fireworks for the 4th of July. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
All right, I got to get out to J.H. and Sons at the Galleria tomorrow because they have some new sort of tailored up summer clothing for me. It's Jason for J.H. and Sons at the Galleria, my headquarters for premium menswear in Minnesota. J.H. and Sons, the J.H. is Jeff Halberstadt. And Halberstadt's has been an incredible part of St. Cloud men's clothing history, one of the finest men's clothing stores in the region. And so Jeff is the next generation. He said, I want to build a beautiful store. He could be retired. He doesn't need to be doing that. But somebody who loves what they do, he just can't shake it. So Jeff's like, I want to open a beautiful men's clothing store where you can go in and get treated like you used to be treated, where you can get measured for a suit and the in-house tailor will take care of you, where when you walk in, the salesman or saleswoman is going to know you, know your family, know what's going on. Just old school service with very current styles and fashion. You need clothing for a night out. You need clothing for a summer vacation, J.H. and Sons. You need a suit, wedding coming up, graduation season, J.H. and Sons. Sign up for their email list. That way you'll be in the know when there are new clothing drops or special events at the store. JHandsons.com.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Red Pocket Mobile.
Google Search is getting its first overhaul in 25 years. Alphabet announced that the Google search box will be powered by Gemini 3.5, the company's latest AI model, adding video generation and video editing capabilities in search. Google says Gemini usage has grown 700% in 2 years, with more than 900 million active users on the Gemini app compared to 400 million last year. I'm Jason Brooks.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. Ever sign up for one of those too good to be true phone deals? 1 minute you're feeling great, then suddenly you're paying over $1,000 a year. Crazy, right? You know who else thinks that's crazy? Red Pocket Mobile.
Right now at Red Pocket, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year. And choose from all 3 major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. and because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection.
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It's hot. It is hot. Chris Schaefer's forecast is hot all week. 73 is the low tonight. That is not very cool. That's not windows open. Tomorrow, hot, sunny, 90. Wednesday, isolated storms and showers, 89 degrees. We're in the mid to upper 80s all week long. Right now in Brooklyn Park, it's 86 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You are not part of the problem. You're actually part of the solution. Thank you.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I love fireworks. I do. I know some of you hate fun, hate freedom. Not me. City of St. Paul has sort of shanked it when it comes to fireworks. I remember years ago, Alyssa and I actually stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel right in downtown St. Paul over 4th of July weekend because we thought it'd be cool to watch the fireworks over the state capitol. There's something cool about fireworks over the Capitol, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the city of St. Paul, which certainly had plenty of budget money to do all sorts of stuff, they were trying to save money in 2018. Melvin Carter, because like you can never. I mean, the cynical side of me says you can never hate America enough to appease the far left. But I think what really was happening is, it was a time where Melvin Carter was trying to let's put money for, budget is always tough in St. Paul because you have so many state offices, you have so many education institutions, you have so many churches. You don't have the property tax base that you need. And so they were trying to save money and they're like, well, let's get rid of the fireworks, which I just always thought stunk. The Rotary in St. Paul is trying to raise $83,000. Well, they're raising more than that. I think the total is $125,000. They're going to do it over Cathedral Hill Park, which is a great location because you have the Cathedral of St. Paul right there on Summit. But you have this whole where Summit and John Ireland and Old Kellogg all come together. You have a big grassy area so people could hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to bring back fireworks. I donated today. I logged on. And it's like the St. Paul Rotary site. It's stpaulrotary.org. But I think we should have fireworks, especially this year, 250 250th birthday of America. We need these sorts of communal gatherings. We need to bring back celebrating and loving our freedom, loving our country. And the 4th of July, especially on the 250th birthday of America, it's a time to do that. And if the capital city, isn't it embarrassing if the capital city of Minnesota, the only fireworks that St. Paul has is from the Saints game. So if they have a home game,
Yeah.
which I think they do that weekend, and the Saints put on a nice fireworks display, but like, that's not it, right? Like, I mean, Target Field, they have 4 like fireworks nights for the Twins, but you don't cancel the big fireworks during Aquatennial because, oh, well, Target Field's got it covered. Like, no, that's not the bit. Like, I just like it. I like it. I don't know. Nobody's going to text it and say, you're like, I hate fireworks, right? 651-461-9226. I do think it's an interesting question of whether the city should pay for it or it should be private. I suppose since we've cut this sort of stuff out of city budget, I think it's fine to ask businesses and like I threw in $50. I don't know that I'm exactly getting it done personally. They're not going to name. Well, for $50, do you think they should name one particular like fireworks display after me? Or like, can I get like the DeRusha sparkler or something?
$50. I mean, with inflation, it might be more than that, but maybe.
And probably
the sparkler is a little light for your level. That's below you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not asking.
You need a few mortars named after you. Like, we got to go bigger bust here.
I think it's good on the Rotary Club of St. Paul to say like we can do this, we can get it done, and they're gonna try to make it like a whole thing. So we got to get like Jason DeKester, who's the president, but Fred Mello did a story on this in the Pioneer Press. And, you know, this stuff should be free. He's like, we're going to go about 500 feet in the air. Should be about a 20-minute show. They say it costs about $1,000 per minute. But then there are other expenses too, right? Like you got to work with the police and the fire department and whatever. But like, and there will be music and food trucks and sort of the usual stuff. But St. Paul's a real city, you know, like you can't just leave this to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
You have to, I mean, if St. Paul's not going to do this sort of stuff, you may as well just combine St. Paul and Minneapolis into one city. Why even bother?
Yeah.
What are we even trying?
Especially on the 250th anniversary of America. I mean, come on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
In a minute, the most popular baby names in the state of Minnesota. Young people, what are you guys doing? What are you doing with the names that you're picking? We'll get into that when we come back on Drive Time on Memorial Day. ABC radio coverage, a Memorial Day special is coming up in just about 15 minutes right here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
What do you think we're having for dinner tonight at the DeRusha house? We are grilling. So I'm going to text Alyssa right now what's for dinner. I bought some charcoal because a lot of Minnesota pork that we've had on the grill. It is Jason for the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 family farmers every quarter of this state. And as we get this sort of unofficial kickoff to summer weekend going, to me, it's the unofficial kickoff to Minnesota pork season. Because you're talking barbecue ribs. You're talking brown sugar pork burgers with a bacon onion jam. You're talking pork fajitas. You're talking pork nachos. How about Vietnamese grilled lemongrass pork chops? All of these recipe ideas are available for you at tastewhatporkcando.com. That is the website, thanks to the National Pork Council. But they have so many recipe ideas. And Minnesota's family farmers just want you to get out there to your grocery store, Get out there to your butcher shop and support this great history of agriculture. My wife just responded. What are we having for dinner tonight? Pork chops. Fantastic. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Every day, your ears put up with a lot. Give them something they'll actually enjoy. News that matters. Conversations worth hearing. News Talk 830 WCCO. Your ears deserve better.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana, and I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trust, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Ref Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Losing a loved one is difficult enough without having to worry about paying property taxes on a home you inherited. That's really tough. If you're in a situation where you have to sell a property you inherited, you can trust my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita, the good neighbor agent, just helped Scott, a fellow WCCO radio listener, get his family home sold. He was going through a lot after his loss and wanted a quick, stress-free process. John's a compassionate guy. He was patient with Scott and also assured him he could get the job done fast without adding any stress. It took him less than 2 weeks to sell Scott's house. The buyer paid $10,000 over asking price. John made a stressful situation a lot easier for Scott. John makes selling easy. Want to know what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Have you ever felt like you were living just a B or B plus life? It's so dangerous to live that, more dangerous than a B minus or a C plus life, because when you're living a B or B plus life, you don't change it. You think it's good enough. Is it? I'm Susie Welch. I host a podcast called Becoming You. People think, okay, an A plus life is not available to me, but there is a way. We are all in the process of becoming ourselves. Listen to Becoming You wherever you get your podcasts.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast is hot, and it is going to be hot all week. Chris Schaefer wants you to know tomorrow is going to be 90. Yeesh. Some isolated evening thunderstorms possible Tuesday night. 90 degrees, the high. Wednesday, same bit. Isolated storms, 89. Thursday, 86. Friday, 85. What the heck? Summer is here. Right now, it is 86 degrees on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
So, I'm fascinated with baby names. The Star Tribune has this interactive thing on their website right now where you try to guess the most popular names for babies in Minnesota. Who's having babies? Is it millennials still?
Could be.
Well, I'm asking that because, like, how old? Like the oldest Gen. Well, I guess the oldest Gen Zer is 29. So maybe it's Gen Zers who are. It's like old Gen Zers, young millennials are the ones having the baby. I'm Gen X. Like, believe me, the store is closed. The baby store.
Breaking news.
It's if I create a baby, there's going to be a very tense conversation with a urologist. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
So you guys love these old man and old women names for babies. The number one baby name in Minnesota is Charlotte. Number two is Evelyn. What are we doing with Evelyn? Like, Charlotte is pretty. Still feels like an old lady name, though, doesn't it?
A little bit.
When you picture Charlotte, and you're welcome to weigh in on this at 651-461-9226 in our final 4 minutes here. But when I picture a Charlotte, I picture long, flowy hair, and or perhaps I picture a spider and a web. Evelyn sounds like a chain-smoking 85-year-old woman to me.
She's playing bingo this weekend.
Number 3 is Violet. Number 4 is Eleanor. What?
Now we're really regressing.
Now, number 5 is Nora. I'm like, well, Nora, that seems fine. Now, Charlotte, to be the number one name in Minnesota, it's sort of shocking, like how few Charlottes there are.
Yeah.
Right? Because Charlotte is number one. There were only 238 of them. So Evelyn at number 2, 230. 230 Evelyns. I will guarantee you there are 230 sets of parents out there who think you're so dang clever. Oh, Evelyn, you don't know too many Evelyns. Bad news for little Evelyn when she shows up in kindergarten and is sitting next to like the characters in a Bronte novel or something. Now, the boy parents aren't much better. Number one name for boy, we have a new champ in the clubhouse with 339 people naming their son Theodore. Nope. Now, I assume people want to call their kid Teddy.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the bit? Because Teddy's kind of cute.
I don't know too many Theodores.
Theodore.
I know Theodores that would punch me if I called them Theodore because they're called Ted.
Ted, right. Because you think Teddy and Ted. So here's the difference. So Teddy, cute. Ted seems kind of like a stick in the mud.
Yeah.
Theodore is part of a musical trio with Alvin and Simon.
Yes.
Is my view.
Yeah.
Henry, number 2. Henry's been a top name since 2009. So for the last 14 years, Henry, 313 Henrys. Now, another name that's sort of come to prominence is Oliver. No one was naming their kid Oliver in 2007. There were 85 of them. But for the last 10 years, there have been more than 300 Olivers. And then Liam is hot, and Noah's been hot for a long time. Noah's been hot since 98. But what's interesting to me is like Noah was sort of a nothing name. Like in 1975, when I was born, only 11 Noahs. Now, my name, Jason, very unpopular. You know how many Jasons there were last year? 29. 29.
Yeah, it's been worn out.
Jason peaked, much like I peaked in the mid-70s.
Yeah.
So the year I was born, 1,240 Jasons.
Wow.
In Minnesota. I think it's very interesting how people sort of, these names become hot and then they're dead. Can we bring back Jason?
Yeah.
I think it's a nice name. What about Josh? If you search Josh, not Joshua, Josh. Are you Josh or
I'm
Joshua?
Josh. I cringe when I get called Joshua.
I wonder if they combine them.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joshua.
that's interesting.
Only 53 Joshuas.
Staying alive.
But in 81, there were 963. The bottom line on names is that there are so many names now in play that even the most popular names don't compare anything to what it was like in the 70s and 80s. So I guess feel confident if you want to name your kid Eleanor. So weird. Continental Diamond time check. It is 5:58. Time to get to continentaldiamond.com. Check out a luxury pre-owned timepiece for graduation or Father's Day. ABC's Memorial Day special coverage coming up in just minutes here on CCO.
Jefferson Lines is your #1 bus experience.